All right, we are live. We are talking about garage sale and thrift store profits today. I'm glad that you are here because garage sales and thrift stores is where I got my start. I was able to find a lot of inventory that I can sell on Amazon that I barely had to pay anything for, and I was able to get really good return on investment (ROI). And I love doing garage sales and thrift stores. Weather permitting, garage sales are awesome. And even if the weather is bad, you can go into a thrift store almost any day of the week and find some really good finds. And I'll teach you my top secrets that will help you maximize your time, maximize your profits with garage sales and thrift stores. But before we do that, I want to make sure you are aware of a free gift that I've got for you. If you're not a subscriber to the Full-Time FBA blog, if you go to fulltimefba.com, you can subscribe to our email newsletter and you get this free book. It's called Seller Central Tips. It's a book my wife and I wrote together, all about how to handle reimbursements, refunds, how to correct other possible Amazon glitches, because Amazon can be kind of glitchy. I mean, can I get an amen? Amazon can be glitchy. Sometimes it's in your favor, but a lot of times it's not. Amazon needs to send you a reimbursement, and for some reason they forgot. So we kind of need to give them a little nudge. I'll teach you how to do that. Amazon should help refund you some money that you owe. Maybe someone leaves a negative feedback and you want to know how to fix it. A lot of other possibilities. Like I teach you about the magic words to use in this book to help Seller Central actually get somebody to help you, because a lot of times the Seller Central reps, they're doing the best they can, but a lot of times they don't understand exactly what's going on. They're not trained as well as some of their supervisors, and so in this book I talk you through how to get someone who actually knows how to fix the problems you are trying to get fixed. Anyway, it's free just for you. Fulltimefba.com is where you go. Put in your name and email address. You'll be added to our newsletter and get this book absolutely for free. All right. Well, who am I? Why should you trust me? Why should you listen to me? Well, my name is Steven Smotherman. I've been selling online since '98, back on eBay, and that was a nice little, side hustle, little side income on the side for a little while. But in 2011, I found myself unemployed and freshly divorced and freshly unemployed, trying to find a way to make money online so I could work from home so I didn't have to send my kids to daycare. I've got 4 kids. So I wanted to work from home to be able to spend more time with my kids and also not to put all that money into daycare too. And that's when I discovered Amazon FBA, and just knowing that Amazon will store all my inventory, ship it to my customer when it sells, was a huge relief, because man, you should have seen my garage when I was doing eBay. It was a mess. And anytime I got a sale on eBay, I was like, oh man, now I gotta go find it. I gotta find the right size box. I gotta go to the post office. But with Amazon FBA, knowing that Amazon takes care of all of that for a small fee, man, I'm like, yes, send all my inventory to Amazon, have Amazon pick out the box, have Amazon ship it to the customer. It was awesome. And so I started in 2011 selling on Amazon, and in 2012 I started making a full-time income, being able to support myself and my kids. And in fact, in 2012 I was awarded top holiday seller for 2012, which means out of all the sellers on Amazon in 2012 during the Q4 holiday selling season, I was in the top 25% of sales. I had just started like the year before. I started in 2011, but by 2012 I was in the top 25% of Amazon sellers. That's crazy. They don't give this award out anymore, but I'm really proud of it, and it just shows you how fast you can ramp up sales on Amazon. In 2013, I married Rebecca. She became an incredible stepmom and also joined me in my business. She just like, Steven, I don't like garage sales and thrift stores and stuff very much, at least not for you. I like go find the cool stuff. You're getting the boring stuff that is, she wanted to look at the antiques, and she wanted to, which is cool, but it's not, there's some antiques that are profitable to sell, but if you're wanting to get fast turn stuff, there's certain things that you should be buying. I'll tell you my 2 favorite items that I always buy at garage sales and thrift stores in just a minute. But this is a picture of my wife and I. We got married in 2013. She joined our Amazon business, and we worked together. It's awesome. This is 3 of our boys. The oldest is grown. This is 3 of our family at the Grand Canyon last summer, just enjoying a nice long road trip, knowing that our inventory was in Amazon. If a customer wants to buy it, they'll ship it. We still kept seeing sales come in, and it was awesome. So we got married in 2013. Later that year, in 2013, she told me, Steven, you're spending too much time on Facebook answering people's questions. You need to start a blog and just blog out all your answers. So I started fulltimefba.com with the help and encouragement of my bride. and it's been awesome. We've been able to put together over 200 blog posts. We have got a YouTube channel, over 200 videos, all sorts of videos and training to help you work this whole Amazon business as either a side hustle or your full-time job, but it's always been our goal to help you make full-time income with just part-time hours with Amazon FBA. So that's a bit about me and my journey. And so when it comes to garage sales and thrift stores, I still love sourcing garage sales and thrift stores. That's where I got started. That's where a lot of people get started. Again, mostly because when it comes to making money with garage sales and thrift stores, the risk is low because the investment of money is low, because you buy an item for $1, a quarter, $2, $3, and the investment is low, but the bang for your buck is high because you can sell stuff for $10, $20, $30, $100 just with a $1 to $5 investment. And so it can add up over time. Now, when it comes to garage sales and thrifting profits, here's what you can expect. You can find profitable items still in new condition. A lot of people assume garage sales and thrift stores, it's all used. No, you will be shocked if you've never been garage sailing or thrift store, how often you're going to find stuff in brand new condition, stuff that's still sealed, still factory sealed, still in brand new condition, and it's I mean, have you ever received a gift or gotten something or bought something and you never actually used it and you ended up just selling it at a garage sale or donated it to a thrift store? Well, there's people just like you all over the world who have these new items that you can buy and you can still sell stuff on Amazon, buying it in new condition from these places. But obviously there's also profitable used / collectible condition that you can sell on Amazon. I say collectible because if you're selling a toy on Amazon, you're not allowed to call it used. Used toys sounds kind of creepy. If you're a parent wanting to buy your kid a toy, you don't want it used. You want it collectible, because a collectible sounds like it's well taken care of and that it's something that is okay for your child to play. It's collectible. So that term actually increases the cost of what most people will pay for an item. It's just like cars. Almost no one sells used cars anymore. They're now pre-owned, because pre-owned sounds a whole lot nicer than used. Anyway, we'll get more into that in a little bit later. Garage sales and thrift stores, you can find unique one-off items, which means you don't have to worry about going too deep on a purchase because sometimes if you're at a retail store and you see like 15 items on the shelf, you're like, oh, I don't know how many to go, if I should buy just one of them or if I should buy all of them. Garage sales and thrift stores give you unique opportunities to buy one-off items that you can sell on Amazon. The ROI potential, I've told you about that before. It's just a great place to buy something for $1 to $5 that you can sell for $10 to $100 all day long. And then weekend sourcing, great for garage sales. Of course, thrifting, you can do it all week long. And then even the outsourcing potential is there. If you can garage sale and go to thrift stores, you can train other people, pay them a fair wage to go find these items for you. It is possible to outsource your garage sale and thrifting sourcing. And so you can, if there's a little college student that wants a little extra money, if there's a retired person who wants a little extra money on the side, but doesn't want to make too much and go over their Social Security limits. And so, you can, hire these people as contract labor to be able to go out and do a little sourcing for you. And that means you're able to grow and scale your business with garage sales because of the outsourcing potential. So let's keep moving on. So obviously, if you want to know about garage sales, you got to know how to find them. So here are my top tips on how to find garage sales, because the more you find, the more items you have to look at, the more profits you'll make. A lot of people will be like, Steven, I know how to find a garage sale. Well, maybe you're going to pick up a few tips here, so let's get right to it. My favorite place, Craigslist.org. Type in your city or zip code, and you're able to find garage sales in your area. You can go look at city websites. The city that I live in, you have to apply for a permit, and the permit is free, but you still have to apply for a permit to have a garage sale. And so as a service to the city puts together the garage sale addresses, puts it up once a week, sometime around Wednesday or so. The weekend garage sales will be posted online. And so Wednesday night, I'm making my route for all the Thursday garage sales. Thursday night, I'm making all my routes for the Friday garage sales. And I get a lot of them from the city websites. This is also good if your neighborhood is not very profitable when it comes to garage sales. Maybe there's a neighborhood 20 minutes away from you that maybe it's more upscale or has better items, and you can go and look at their city websites. And instead of sourcing your neighborhood, you can drive 20 to 30 minutes somewhere, and it can be totally worth it if that neighborhood has better items. Where they throw stuff away more often, they have newer items, stuff that's not even opened. So you can check city websites to find more garage sales that way. There's certain websites out there that are garage sale websites. There's a lot of really good ones out there. There's garage sale smartphone apps that you can do it all right on your phone. And in fact, sometimes I use a garage sale smartphone app if I am not planning on going on garage sailing, but I have a few hours open on Saturday. I'll open up the app, see which one's closest to me. My favorite one is called Yard Sale Treasure Map. And so if you look up Yard Sale Treasure Map in the App Store, you can download it, find ones that are close to you. It uses your location and lets you know which garage sales are close to you. I'm able to find a lot of garage sales that way. There's another one called, I am not going to pronounce this, Gasaller, but it's just short for garage sailor. Garage sales by map. You can check that one out too as a website. You go to gsalr.com, and if you can do it all on your phone that way. Newspapers, there's still some people, older people, retired people that will still post garage sales in local newspapers. I would not suggest getting a newspaper subscription just for the garage sale listings, but if you already have one, be sure to check that. There might be some that you miss that aren't posting it online, and don't post it with the city because they don't know the city requires a permit, and they post it in a newspaper. There might be some still old school people that are doing that. And then always just be on the lookout. BOLO stands for be on the lookout. Always be on the lookout for garage sales. If you're driving around and you see a garage sale sign, follow that. And then I'm going back to Craigslist again for my final place to find garage sales, because instead of just entering in your city or your zip code, search keywords like neighborhood sale or church sale or rummage sale. These are really good opportunities, especially neighborhood sale, because if you're able to find a neighborhood where the whole neighborhood is agreed, this is the day where we're all going to do a garage sale, then you can just go to a neighborhood and just be like, from one street to the next street to the next street to the next street. Saves you so much time. So again, hopefully this gives you some new ideas on how to find garage sales, because the more you find, the more opportunities you have to find items that you can sell online. And then when you start to put together your route, because hopefully you are creating a route, you can optimize it. Most of the time I use Google Maps, and I'm able to put together a little route via Google Maps. But if I have more than 10 stops on my route that day, I use a app or a website called speedyroute.com. You can go to speedyroute.com and you can put in, if you've got 30 garage sales you're trying to make in one day, you can put those into speedyroute.com, and then click a button, and SpeedyRoute will calculate what the best route is, and we'll put them all in order, on the maps for the least amount of mileage that you're driving, so you can make the best route very quickly. So SpeedyRoute is what I use most of the time, because most of the time I have more than just 10 stops that I'm going on a garage sale any particular garage sale day. All right, so SpeedyRoute kind of looks like that, where you can type in individually or you copy and paste from Craigslist or city websites the routes, and then calculate, and it will put it together on the map here right there for you, and it's pretty awesome. So let's talk about how to find the good stuff. So use a sourcing app. I have an app on my phone. It's called Scoutify. Scoutify comes bundled with Inventory Lab, and I use that all the time when I'm out sourcing for items in new and used / collectible condition. So Scoutify is what I use. It is awesome because it shows so much information. Here's a little screenshot from a Scoutify scan, and so I found this board game called Space Hulk. It tells me what the rank is, and if you click on this little link here, the rank, it'll also tell you what the percentage is. This would come up as like in the top 3% of toys and games category. It shows me what my target buy cost is. If I can get this for $177, I'll be able to make some profit on this. I'm at a garage sale, I'm probably going to get this for more. And so you can see if you find it in new condition, you can sell it for $29.99. You can click add in this little button. It adds it to a buy list that you can upload to Inventory Lab. And if you need to do a little more information, you can research and click this button, and it'll open up researching eBay. You can research Google. You can research Camel, or Keepa. Camel, and Keepa are two free programs on your computer that will help you, that basically track pricing and sales rank history for almost every item on Amazon. You can do that right there within the Scoutify app. And then if it turns out that you're restricted for an item, a button will show up over here that says restricted, and you can follow through and see if you can get approved for the item that was restricted. And sometimes you can just get approved right on the spot. So I love the Scoutify app. Again, it comes bundled with Inventory Lab. You can get a free month by going to fulltimefba.com/inventory, and you can really just make some really good choices with the Scoutify app. My suggestion is to scan every new item. If you come across a new item, always scan it, something that's factory sealed or new. And just because it's still in the box doesn't mean it's always new. You want to, if it's not factory sealed and it's still new in the box, it still might be new. Take a second, open up the box and look inside. I made the mistake one time of buying a razor set that was still in the box, and it still looked good. It had little plastic around the razor and still looked really good. And I was like, it's got to be new. I bought it at a garage sale. I brought it home. I opened up the box and pulled it out, and I was like, these different whiskers and little hairs started falling out. I'm like, this is not new. This is used. I'm gonna have to probably donate this, but just scan every new item, and then you can compare it with the new price on Amazon with your Scoutify app, and you can compare it with the new price. But yeah, if I'm selling it at $29.99, again, Scoutify does the math for me. After Amazon fees, I can take home $241. So if I'm at a garage sale and I find this board game in new condition, it's only 4 years old, then so it's possible to still find a board game like this in new condition, then if someone's asking $5 for this board game, I'd be like, yeah, I'll take it for $5. It's over $200 that I'm taking home. So scan every new item and selectively scan used items. There are certain items on Amazon that still sell well when it's used. I'm talking used books sell really well, used board games sell really well, used some certain used toys sell really good. Now there's certain items you're not allowed to sell used, like anything in the baby category, you can't sell it in used. And before, when I was talking about toys and games on Amazon, I called it used because that's what it is, but on Amazon you sell it as collectible. But selectively scan used items, and there you might find items. There's sometimes electronic items that are used that you can sell and make some good money on Amazon. Another tip to make sure you find good stuff: look under things. Look under tables. A lot of times people just look on top of the table. They don't look under the table. Sometimes they see boxes of stuff under the table and they make assumptions. But don't make assumptions. Look under things. Whatever's on top, you don't know what's underneath until you look. One time I was at a garage sale, I found a box, and draped over it were some coats. And I thought, that's probably all just clothes. And I just kept walking. Then I realized I don't know for sure if it's what under there is all clothes. So I went back. I took the clothes off of that box, the coats off the top of that box, and inside was about 50 or so educational teacher books. And I realized later that this garage sale was from a former teacher who had retired, and she has all these education books. They were somewhat recent. I started scanning them and found a ton of items. She was selling them for like quarter, 50 cents each, and the books were selling on Amazon for $12 to $20 each, a few of them in the $30 and $40 range. So just because I looked under an item, I didn't make an assumption. Always look under things when it comes to garage sales. And thrift stores too. Sometimes you'll see a big pile of stuff. Don't worry, get your hands dirty. If you want to bring some protective gloves, go through some of the stuff at thrift stores and look through stuff and under things to find more inventory. And look everywhere twice. Anytime I go to a garage sale or a thrift store, I try to have the same type of route. I go in a certain way, look at everything, and then on my way out, I go through the exact same route that I came in on, looking for more items. I don't just go in and when I'm done, make a beeline for the door. I'm still looking on my way out. It amazes me how many things I've been able to find just because my perspective was switched. I was able to switch out to my perspective and and able to find more and see more items. So look everywhere twice, and that's going to help you find good stuff. Now, how about the best stuff? The best stuff. All right, I'm about to tell you my 2 favorite items that I sell on Amazon, but I'm going to get some water first and create anticipation for the 2 best items that I find at garage sales and thrift stores to sell on Amazon. All right, no more anticipation. My number 1 thing that I find at garage sales and thrift store items, books. Now, this might be obvious to you, but when you're looking for books, again, sell everything in the used condition. I wouldn't suggest selling anything, a book that's at a thrift store or garage sale as new, because technically, if you take a book and you do this, it's, even though how great it looks, it's officially used. So I can't sell it as new anymore. So be sure you are aware of that and just sell books as used. You can make a ton of money selling them in all conditions, acceptable, good, like new, very good condition in the books. And you can find books. If you find a title of a book that you think sounds kind of weird, scan it. I've made some really good money selling books that were just really weird. I found a book one time and it was like raising goats for meat farmers. And I was like, raising goats for meat farmers? Something like that. And I scanned it and I could buy this for 50 cents at this thrift store, and it sells for 30 bucks on Amazon. And so, I'm like, yeah, definitely. And it turned out about how to raise goats in order to sell them for their meat. So how to raise goats for meat farmers. All sorts of crazy stuff that's out there. So I always look at it. My second favorite thing, board games. I love board games. And you might have heard recently we've updated our course, The Reseller's Guide to Board Games, how to turn play money into real money. You can find out more about that at fulltimefba.com/board games. But board games are one of my favorite items at all time to buy at garage sales and thrift stores, because a lot of times people don't realize just how profitable new board games, yes, but used/collectible board games can be wildly profitable. And it's what 2 of the things that I love to buy the best to sell on Amazon. Both of them can be sold in new and used condition. Books, you can try to sell it as in new, if it's still factory sealed, or maybe if it's just perfectly new. And used collectible conditions can still be very, very profitable. My suggestion with books, do not compete against Amazon on a new book while they have announced that they will share the buy box. And the buy box is that little corner, that little box in the corner of an Amazon sales page where most of the sales happen. 80% of most Amazon sales come from that buy box. And so you want your items in that buy box. If you're wanting some free training about the buy box, you can go to fulltimefba.com/win the buy box. I'll teach you how to best win the buy box. But that's fulltimefba.com/win the buy box. But if you want to have the buy box for a book, the best buy box is the used buy box. And for books, Amazon will do a used buy box from time to time. So I never compete with Amazon in the book category, even though they say they will share the buy box. It's pretty rare when they actually do, but I will go for the used condition for the buy box. And then if it is new and you still want to compete against Amazon, just sell it as used like new. And I mean, your customer will get it and be like, "Whoa, this is even better condition than I thought." And you'll still be able to get the used buy box, or you'll be able to get the person who wants to buy it used. There's some people out there who will never buy from Amazon directly. They like the website, but they don't like Amazon as a seller, and they've had bad experiences. And so some people like to support the third-party sellers. That's you and me. So board games, books, 2 of my favorite things to buy on Amazon, to buy in order to sell on Amazon. But board games, like I said before, are my favorite. And I've just experienced so many home runs when it comes to board games. There's this Walking Dead Monopoly that I found one time. I paid $15 for it, and I sold it for 50 bucks just about a few weeks later. There was an electronic battleship game. I paid $2 for it. It was missing some parts. I paid $10. I went to eBay and found some missing parts on eBay. So put all together, I paid 12 bucks for it. I sold it online for $119 in collectible condition, because A lot of times on Amazon, the new price is for board games. If it's out of print, very, 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 very expensive. And so a lot of people are like, hey, if this new board game is listed at $300, I'd rather pay $100 for a collectible like new or collectible very good board game instead. I'll save some money. It's, I don't need something that's brand new. As long as all the pieces are there, then I will go for it. And so it was a nice little find right there. Some more finds that I've been able to experience. There's this board game called Axis and Allies. I paid $1 for it, and parts to replace about 20 bucks. Sold it for $400 used. This was awesome, and stories like this are not rare. Like I said before, Space Hulk. When I first saw it, I was like, is this like Marvel, the Incredible Hulk out in space? What is this? That's not what it is. But I paid $2 for it, sold it for $250 in new condition, and you can do that kind of stuff. This is not rare and not like special stories. These, it happens more often than you think, especially with board games. Let's keep going. How to get a good deal. If you want to increase your ROI, you want to be able to get a good deal. Already at a garage sale and thrift store, you're getting a good deal. When you go to garage sales, there's two different types of garage sales. There are garage sales where the people are more focused on money and making a profit. And then there's other garage sales that are more focused on getting rid of stuff. If you ever get to a garage sale and they are focused on making money, just walk away. It's mostly not going to be worth it. But if you go to a garage sale and you just know they want to get rid of stuff, those are the opportunities you have to strike a deal. Never pays the asking price unless the asking price is super low. If something's priced $1, I'll say, would you take 50 cents? If something is priced $3, I'll say, would you take $1.50? Something's priced $10, I'll say, would you take 6? I never pay full price unless it's super low. Then I'm not going to be like, if I see a really nice brand new board game and they're asking $1 for it, yeah, I'll pay $1 for that. I'm not going to say, would you take 50 cents? Because that's insulting. Another tip for you, the cash in hand method. So if you have, say you have a board game that you want to buy and it's priced at $5, if you have, $3 in the other hand and be like, hey, this board game, would you take $3 for it? Put your hand out as if you are handing it to them. And if they have a liquidation focused mindset, knowing they just want to get rid of stuff, that cash in hand that cash already seems like it's theirs because you're offering it. And so they'll take that and you can just save $2 that you can spend on other items. Another thing is you can bundle it. You find a garage sale, like the garage sale that I went to that I found all those educational books. I ended up buying about 20 or 25 of them. And I ended up saying, hey, if I take all of these together, what kind of deal would you give me? And so I was able to save a few bucks that way too. So bundling stuff together will help you save money at garage sales. And as always, just be kind. If you're a jerk, no one's going to want to, negotiate with you. Kindness gets rewarded, and be sure you just go above and beyond, be a good person, and most likely they're going to reciprocate that. And then when it comes to getting the stuff to Amazon, send it as soon as possible. If you go to a garage sale on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, maybe you go to a thrift store on Monday, get that stuff out to Amazon on Tuesday. Just send it off as soon as you can to Amazon. It will help you have faster sales because you're going to get inventory there sooner. You're going to have the most competitive pricing because the faster you get it to Amazon, the smaller number of competitors have come in and maybe you have priced lower, so you'll have the best pricing. And any item that is not in an Amazon FBA warehouse, if you're an FBA seller, it's not making you any money. And also it helps you, it frees you up to focus on other things. If you have a big stack of inventory in your house, how many of you are like, oh, I got to get to that. I got to get to that sometime. And it like eats at you because you realize there's other things that you can be doing and that you need to do. But if you get it out of the way, get it done, then it gets checked off your list and you can focus on other things that you need to do for your business. So let me walk through some of the tips for you before we get into the next section about my biggest garage sale tip. So again, find those garage sales. Finding garage sales, multiple ones in your area. If there's a lot of garage sales, go to that. Map your route so it'll help you save some time so you're not just driving around aimlessly looking for garage sales. Find the good stuff, look everywhere, look under stuff, go through boxes, go through stacks of things, ask if there's any other stuff, you know, in their house that they want a garage sale. I mean, you can find more stuff, and then get a good deal by negotiating, by being kind and asking for a little bit off, and then ship it to Amazon to FBA as soon as you can. The faster it's there, the faster you have the chance to get a competitive priced item bought by a customer and give you that disbursement. So that's the review of the garage sale tips. Now, when it comes to the biggest garage sale mistake that you're going to make, imagine you drove up to this garage sale, all right? You just drove up to this garage sale, and I've done this before many times. You drive up and you're like, it's nothing. I don't even want to get out of the car. I just want to keep driving. That is probably the biggest mistake that you could ever make, because if you take a little, just 2 minutes, if you just get out of your car for 2 minutes and look around, you never know what you're going to find. I took a picture of this garage sale because I don't see everything, you know? I mean, I see some stuff on the table. I've seen some bins. It looks like mostly clothing and maybe some frames or stuff. Guess what? Inside this garage was a shelving unit that had probably about 40 or 50 board games. And I bought about 10 or 15 of them to sell on Amazon. This ended up being about a $200 stop because I got out of my car for 2 minutes and looked around. So do not fall into the temptation of just assuming that a garage sale is going to be bad or a waste of your time. Just get out, look around for a minute, and you might be surprised. Now, you might get out and you might have your suspicions confirmed. Yeah, this is a waste. You've wasted 2 minutes? But if you take that same 2 minutes on another garage sale that looks bad, but you go into, you never know what you're going to find, and you might end up finding stuff that will help you find more inventory, make more profits. So my big tip for you, don't judge a garage by its driveway. Don't judge a garage sale by its driveway. Don't be the lazy competition, is what Chris Green says. If you've read his book, Arbitrage, that's a great book about buying and reselling on Amazon. But he says in that book, don't be the lazy competition. The lazy competition doesn't make as much money as the competition that works hard. If you want to get the book Arbitrage, you can go to fulltimefba.com/arbitrage. I highly recommend it. I think it should be like a required reading for every Amazon seller. It's good stuff. fulltimefba.com/arbitrage. But lazy equals less money, and you don't want to be that. So take the 2-minute gamble, walk around, see what you can find. All right. This tip right here has made me literally hundreds of dollars and saved me hundreds of dollars. I want to tell you how you can turn $2.50 into $20 over and over and over again. And it's with an item that most people at garage sales and thrift stores absolutely ignore. Because honestly, for the right customer to come along and need this item, it's just, the stars have to align. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about ink cartridges. And Staples has a great program that they will recycle your ink cartridges and give you $2 for every ink cartridge. So I've been able to go to garage sales. I find ink cartridges, and almost every single time the ink cartridges are expired. The weird thing is, like, some of them will say expired 2008. And I'm like, have you been holding on to this for 10 years and you're just now getting... It's crazy how many ink cartridges I come across that have expired, in 2008, 2009. Anyway, so I always offer a quarter per cartridge, and I'll even point out that, hey, this is expired in 2005. Would you take a quarter for it? Every single time they say, yes, I will take a quarter for that. And that way you can Staples allows you to do 10 cartridges and recycle them, 10 cartridges a month. So that's turning $2.50 into $20 every single month. Be sure you read the rules, because to be able to take advantage of this program, A, you need to be part of Staples Rewards program. B, you need to spend at least $30 every 6 months on ink. And but if you are able to do this every single month, you're getting $240 a year So I'm fine spending $60 on ink to be able to get $240 per year, and it adds up. If you're like, hey, garage sales, what if I don't find any during November and December and January? I find enough the rest of the year that I just keep a little box of recycled ink cartridges, and I take them to Staples once a month, and I do 10 of them. If you want to go get really crazy, you can. Staples Rewards has like a plus plan, or Staples Rewards Extra, or Premier, or something like that, where you can pay a yearly fee and then be able to do 20 per month, which is $40 or $480 a year in the Staples Rewards stuff. So I'm able to do this almost every single month. If this is not something, or you don't have a Staples near you, you can look into inkrecycling.org. You can get up to $1 each for recycling your ink cartridges. Again, that's turning 25 cents into $1. If you do that enough over time, it adds up. So just a tip for you, again, read the rules, make sure you know the rules, and you can take advantage of this awesome program. So as most of you know, I'm about to start at pretty soon. In just a minute, I'm gonna answer all the questions. I've seen a lot of really good questions coming in our questions area, so I'll come to answer those in just a minute. But before I do, I want to share with you the Reseller's Guide to Board Games has just been recently updated. It used to be a book, now it's a book and a video course. And again, board games have been amazing for me. One of my favorite finds was a Small Madness game, Electronic Mall Madness. I paid $1 for it, paid $15 to replace the missing parts, sold it for $80. It was awesome. Fortress America game, I paid nothing for it. I actually got it for free. And in the Reseller's Guide to Board Games, I tell you the places I get board games for free. Sold it for $99 used. It was a really good find. So I want to help you save some money today, because the Reseller's Guide to Board Games, How to Turn Play Money into Real Money, has just been updated. It's a 90+ page ebook with 4 hours of video training, 5 bonuses. I'm going to tell you where to find the most profitable board games, the best strategies to maximize your profits for selling both new and collectible board games, and how selling board game pieces sometimes can make you more money than the board game as a whole. Just like a car, you can break it out for parts and make more money than selling the car as a whole. There's board games out there that can help you sell those board game pieces individually and make more as a whole too. Comes with a bonus book called Puzzle Profits, because what do you always see right next to board games in thrift stores and garage sales? You see puzzles, and there's some really profitable puzzles that you can find that will help you both new condition and collectible condition. And in the book, I show you my secret on how to make sure every piece of the board game, or every piece of the puzzle, is accounted for. And it's not counting them. You don't count them. Most puzzles, if it says 500 pieces, it might mean 512. It might mean 490. They just put those round numbers on the boxes. So if you ever are counting puzzle pieces to match the number on the box, they're not going to match. But I tell you my secret on how to know that every piece is there without having to actually put the entire puzzle together. And that's it. That's a bonus that comes with the Reseller's Guide to Board Games ebook and video course. There's 4 other bonuses that come with it. If you go to fulltimefba.com/board games, you can get it. And like I said, this is a fresh update. It is new, fresh. All the content is up to date with Amazon's latest rules and policies, and the price will be going up very soon. And so if you want to get the latest edition of the Reseller's Guide to Board Games at the old price, you need to do so today. You go to fulltimefba.com/board games, and you can invest in this course. I will walk you through other places I find board games. I find board games at 4 main places: garage sales, thrift stores, and the other 2 I walk you through exactly where and how, and one of them is my #1 source. So I actually have a source more than garage sales and thrift stores that I find board games at, and I walk you through exactly how to do that in the course. If you're looking for a profitable niche of items to add to your Amazon FBA inventory that is a low upfront cost with potentially high ROI that you can find so many different places, then board games is a great place for you to learn and grow If you go to fulltimefba.com/board games, you can read countless, well, I guess you can count them, but a lot of happy customers that have taken this course and what they have to say about it to be able to help them grow their Amazon business. If you love selling books on board games, you might as well add board games. If you love selling books on Amazon, you might as well add board games too, because all the places you're buying books, except for libraries, you can find a board game to sell on Amazon. So check it out. I'm going to start answering some of your questions, and we will, talk for as long as we have time for today. So let me get into this right now. We'll start going through. So Crazy Bill, because that's what his name says he downloaded an app on his phone called Yard Sale Treasure Map, and that helps you plan your route. Yeah, that's one of the ones I talked about before. It's awesome. Bob says, what kind of scanner do you use? I use Inventory Lab, and you can find out more about it at fulltimefba.com/Inventory Lab, and I use the Scoutify app that comes bundled with Inventory Lab. So Micah says, how are you verifying internal game contents? What's missing? This is a great question, and there is an entire video module all about how to make sure you have all the pieces, and another module about how to find the missing pieces, because yes, Amazon's rules state very clearly that we are not allowed to sell any board games with missing pieces, and we want to make sure, that even though you might look at a Amazon sales page where you're looking at all the different offers, they might say, hey, this is missing this piece, or hey, this board game has it all except it's missing this piece. They are breaking Amazon's rules. You don't want to do that, because missing pieces lead to negative feedback, returns, wasted time, wasted money, and we don't want to waste any of that. We want to make money. So I have entire modules telling you how to find the missing pieces. My number one place to look is on eBay to find missing pieces. And then there's certain websites that you can go that will list out all the board game contents. And so you can go through and check to make sure. If there's some that you can check on your phone too. It's like if you're at a thrift store and you're like, hey, this is really profitable, then you can decide, I can look up on my phone and start double checking to make sure all the pieces are there. And it doesn't really take that much time. If there's an opportunity for you to make $100, would you spend an extra 4 minutes making sure all the pieces are there? I would. I'd like to make $100 in 4 minutes, or even $50 in 4 minutes. So it's totally worth it if you put in the time and effort. And then also, I also talk to you in the course about how I organize my board games, because sometimes I will buy a board game knowing that it's incomplete, but knowing that at another garage sale or thrift store, I'll probably find that same board game, and I can put those board games together to make a complete set. And then and then when I do that, of course, there'll be some stuff left over. I'll also sell those extra pieces on eBay. So I'm making money from both sides of it: completing a board game, selling extra pieces, and making off like a bandit, because I love selling board game pieces on eBay. And just put the little piece in a little padded envelope. It costs next to nothing to ship, and that customer is happy because they are completing their board game. So good question, Micah, and walk you through all of that in the course. So Kathleen Jones says she previously purchased the Reseller's Guide to Board Games, and she's just now reading through all the updates, and she says thank you so much. So you're welcome. So Valerie says, are you selling those used collectible board games on FBA, Amazon, or eBay? I'm selling them on Amazon. Now, there's a lot of opportunity out there to sell them on Amazon, because yes, customers will buy used collectible board games on Amazon, and if one doesn't end up selling, I might sell it on eBay. But 99% of the board games I sell that are both new or used / collectible conditions are sold via Amazon FBA. And this brings up another question that no one's asked yet, or at least I haven't read it yet, but I get this question a lot. What about brand restrictions? There might be some certain board game brands that are restricted. How do I handle that? And that's a really good question. There are some brands that are restricted, so if you are a brand new seller with no experience, you might come up against this. But as I teach everybody of how to get approved to sell in restricted brands, one of the best ways to do that is to show Amazon that you are consistently a good seller with good metrics, with good customer service. And after about 3 months to 6 months selling on Amazon, Amazon will begin auto approving you to sell certain brands, and that includes board game brands. And so you can go and maybe you have a board game that you're selling now, and you're like, oh, if I could only sell this now, I wish I could do it. I wish I could buy this for only $1. I can sell it for $50 on Amazon, but I'm restricted. My suggestion: go ahead and buy it. Put it under your bed. Put it in your garage. Put it in your attic. Whatever. Make note, and then in 6 months, try to apply for that. Or actually, before you even put it away, apply for that brand. You might get auto approved, and if you don't, put it away for 3 to 6 months and try to get ungated again. And a lot of times, just because of your selling history and your seller performance, you will get approved. And this goes across all categories, not just the toys and games category, on how you can get approved to sell restricted brands. Just ask, and to be able to do that, you can go to sellercentral.com, click on inventory, click on add a product, put in the ASIN of the product that you're wanting to get approved for, and it will come up, and it'll say listing limitations apply, and you click on that button, and then another button will come up that will say, apply to sell this brand, and you click apply, and then it will say, based on your performance, you are approved, or it will say, hey, we need more documentation, or this brand is not accepting more sellers at this time. And that's when I put a little note on my phone, remind myself in 3 to 6 months to check again. And since garage sales and thrift stores, it's not like you're putting a $100 item away that you spent $100 on that you could be using to make money now, selling things now. You're putting like $1 away now, or $2 away right now, so that you could potentially make $50 to $100 3 to 6 months from now. So hopefully that will help you understand how to get through that. But most of the brands for board games are available for anyone to be able to buy and resell, and the ones that are gated usually only take about 3 to 6 months of consistent Amazon sales in other categories, including toys and games, to be able to get approved for that. So hopefully that will help you. And since the price is going up soon on this course, now's a good time to invest in this course, because I'll help teach you about everything else, and you can learn about that while you're slowly getting a pile of items that you can sell in 3 to 6 months when you get approved. So hopefully that makes sense. Valerie says, how are board games rated as to condition? New obviously means never been opened, factory sealed. Like new means that it's not sealed anymore, but maybe the contents inside are still sealed, but the box has been opened. Very good just means that all the contents are there and that there's no marks. They're in very good condition. Good might have a few little marks here and there. Amazon does allow you to sell board games as acceptable condition, but I just stay away from that. Just because one man's acceptable might be another man's trash. And so I don't want to send someone an acceptable board game that is unacceptable to them, to my customer. So, and then of course you can look at if you go to fulltimefba.com/conditions, it's either condition or conditions, it will break down all the condition guidelines for Amazon. You can look at the toys and games and get some more information about how Amazon specifically wants you to grade board games or toys and games. So good question, Valerie. Bob says, do you still sell them on eBay? Occasionally I'll sell them on eBay, but most of the time it's Amazon FBA. Let's see. Bonnie says, do you sell books, FBA or merchant fulfilled? I do everything FBA. I blog at Full Time FBA. I'm a full-time FBA seller. I only merchant fulfill items if it's close to Christmas time and I just know it's not going to get to Amazon in time. With FBA, I'm able to make more. I'm able to outsource more and spend time working on other profitable aspects of my Amazon business. So I'm FBA all the way. Mike says, do you list highlighted and marked up textbooks? How about acceptable conditions? When it comes to textbooks, yes, I will sell highlighted and marked up textbooks, mostly because someone else is, if a college student is buying a textbook and someone's already done the hard work to underline and highlight the important things, I think having that in your condition notes, this book has already been highlighted and has stuff underlined. I actually think you can probably sell that for more than to a book that has not been Every college student is different. Obviously, someone wants a fresh one and only underline the things that they want to remember or know. But I just mark it up into the. But yeah, most of the time, if it's marked up a little bit, I'll do it in very good condition. If there's a lot of marks, I'll do it in good condition. And if it's like earmarked and underlined and I mean, if it's like over the top highlighting and markings, I'll do acceptable condition for books. So good question. I'm saying thank you now because I actually pushed the wrong button. I'm going to go back to the questions. So, so let's ask some more questions. Kathleen says, I've been getting a ton of auto approvals on items I couldn't sell last year as a newbie, and I've used your instructions to get approved. Awesome, Kathleen. I appreciate the shout out with how I've been able to help you. So David says, as a new seller, what can you sell? It seems like there's not much to start off with. You just got to keep sourcing, got to keep scanning. There are actually more items that people are approved to sell than items that people are restricted to sell. So you just keep going. And I'm talking about clearance priced items at stores, garage sales, thrift stores. I'm talking about regular priced. I actually buy more items that are regular priced right now. Like this month, I'm buying more regular priced items to sell on Amazon than at retail stores than the clearance priced stuff. And still finding some good stuff. So there's possibilities everywhere. Carol says, how do you package board games and books to sell on Amazon? That's a good question. In fact, there's a whole video, a module, and a chapter that you can read about how to package board games and ship them, and with books. Books I try to get, Amazon doesn't want you to send something to Amazon that's over 50 pounds. So I make sure I get a small size for books. I usually separate my books and board games, but if that's not possible, I'll put the board games on bottom because the boxes are bigger, and I'll put some board games on top to send them to Amazon. But you try to do your best to Tetris everything together, so you're using as much space in the box as possible, and you are have as much wasted space, airspace as that you end up filling up with the dunnage to make sure that stuff doesn't move around. But we have a whole module in the course about how to do that. I've been asked if there's a discount on the board game course. I don't have a discount, but that's because the price is about to go up. So I'm just making sure and warning everybody that the price is going to be going up very soon, and it's going to go up substantially because it used to just be a book and a few bonuses. Now it's a book, more bonuses, and a full video course. So it's going to go up a lot. Just to make sure you take this opportunity to get the course right now. So Valerie says, what makes a game collectible? So when it comes to selling items on Amazon, Amazon does not like to call anything in the toys and games category used, because used sounds grimy, used sounds like dirty, but collectible sounds a lot better. Collectible sounds like someone's taking care of it. It's all just mental, really. And in Amazon's guidelines, collectible usually means out of print, but there are still people who sell collectible board games that are not out of print as collectible. So it's just really all it is the term that Amazon uses. On eBay, you can sell new and used. On Amazon, new and collectible. And so so that's just it. So you can do with that with what you want, but if you send a board game or any toy into Amazon in the used condition, it's going to go straight to stranded inventory. You'll have to set up a removal order to get it back to you. There's no way to fix that. So be sure you sell it as collectible. Patricia says, I want to purchase this. How can I? Yeah, if you just go to this website here, fulltimefba.com/board games, you can find this course and purchase it before the price goes up, and be able to get the board game book, the Puzzle Profits book, the entire video course, plus more bonuses. I'll walk you through my organizational system. I have a board game PDF notebook that helps you with organizing the board games that you have that are incomplete, that you're wanting to complete, the board games that you have missing pieces for, all that kind of stuff, all that organized for you. Heather says, how do the board games and puzzles sell in the Canadian market? Does this cover that? I don't have any experience with the Canadian market, but I can tell you that when it comes to board games and puzzles, my best assumption would be that yes, board games still sell well in Canada, as well as they do in the U.S. And so, and here's the thing: my board game course has a 60-day money back, no questions asked guarantee. So if you get the course and you realize this does not work in Canada, that guy has no idea what he's talking about, you can get a refund like that. So something to look into. But I would say that in Canada, the teachings that are found in this course will help you with selling via Amazon.ca. Let's see. Connie says, do you bag the board games? I guess you're talking about polybagging a board game. I do not. Actually, if it's in new condition, then it's already factory sealed. If it is in used / collectible condition, then yeah. I said no earlier. I don't know why I said no. Yes, I do polybag the board games, but what I really suggest people do is shrink wrap the board games. So I'll polybag them if I have a bag big enough, and if I can, because I want to make sure the board game stays closed. You don't want to use rubber bands to keep collectible board games closed, because sometimes the warehouses are not very air conditioned. I mean, all the new ones are air conditioned, but there's some warehouses that don't use AC. And then also in the transit, if it's in a UPS truck too long, if it's in a FedEx truck too long, then the heat can snap the rubber bands, which would cause items to go everywhere. So I suggest using, shrink wrapping it by putting it in a bag and using one of the heat guns. In the course, I'll walk you through how to do all of that. Or you can use stretch wrap and just, stretch it around. The only problem with that is that some of the longer board games, the ends could still open. So if you stretch wrap it both ways, it's possible. But polybagging is also an opportunity, as long as you make sure that the polybag, that there's not enough space in the polybag for the item to open up. You want it to stay tightly sealed. Would you not sell any used toy item as collectible? That's a message from Kathleen. That's a good question. Anytime I would not sell it as collectible is if I think it's in anything that I think is worse than acceptable condition. Some people ask me, don't collectible board games still need to have all the packaging? It'd be nice if they did, but sometimes you can still sell collectible toys without the packaging. That does not include board games. Board games should have the entire box, because that's what's holding it all together. You don't want to buy a board game and it comes, without the box, but all the items are sealed together. Part of the board game experience is the box. But I've sold plush toys that didn't have a box or whatever, and I just made sure it was polybagged. I've sold other toys on Amazon that I put in a poly bag that didn't have the box. But any item that, if I just think that the condition is so bad, even if I would grade it as acceptable, I wouldn't send it in, just because, like I said before, one man's acceptable is another man's trash. Valerie says, do you ever sell pieces to board games? Yeah, I do. In fact, there's a whole video module about that, how to know which board games are profitable to sell apart as pieces, because just as you might go to eBay to look to buy a missing piece that you're missing to complete your board game, if you've got extra pieces, either you've got a game that you don't think you're ever going to complete, or maybe you've got a game that has a few extra pieces with it after you've put two games together to make a complete set. Yeah, I sell individual pieces all the time. It's been a nice little side hustle on top of the already profits I'm making from the board game guide. So that's really good. Nancy says, I have your board game course, just not the puzzle. How much is it for today? Well, if you have the original board game guide, you can just log into your members account at fulltimefba.com and you will find the updated course, because when someone buys the Reseller's Guide to Board Games, they are enrolled in the lifetime ownership program, which means every time we update the book, add more bonuses, add more videos, add new stuff, then you get it all for free. And so the people who bought, this is actually the third time we've updated this course. And everyone who bought it the first time around gets all the updates for free. And we update it because Amazon's rules changes. I learn new things. New opportunities come out. Because before I just talked about board games. And then, yeah, in an update, I included the Puzzle Profits book. So if you log into your members account at fulltimefba.com, log in with your username and password, you'll find your board game guide, and then you can you'll see that there's the bonuses and Puzzle Profits and that. If you do happen to log in and you don't see the board game guide, send me a quick message on Facebook or email, and I'll be sure to look into that. Because the board game guide, when I first sold it, was before we even had our website set up and with members accounts. And so there's a few people who bought the board game that they just sent me a PayPal payment, and I emailed them the PDF. But now we have a website that's all organized and looks really good. But in fact, every course that we sell at fulltimefba.com, if you buy it, you are part of the lifetime ownership program. And every time we update it, you get all the newest updates for free. We plan on updating our course, How to Keep a Camel, next year. We are also going to be updating our shoe course next year. So if you have not purchased those courses, I'd go ahead and get them now, because you're going to get, when we update it, we're going to raise the price, and you can get those courses also at a lower price by being able to get them before we update them. So just a little sneak peek of what we got down the line. Risa says, where do you find the shrink wrap film? I got mine on Amazon, actually. Just so I've been able to find shrink wrap film. You can also find it at Uline or Paper Mart. Those are some other places that you can find. So good questions. Connie says, is stretch wrap acceptable versus shrink wrap? I prefer shrink wrap just because it looks more professional, but stretch wrap can be acceptable as long as you have it covered up really well. Bonnie says, do you shrink wrap all the little game pieces? If it's a used board game, that's a really good question, because yes, I will. If it's a used board game and there's a bunch of little pieces inside, just so it doesn't sound like all the board game pieces are flying around, I will not shrink wrap them, but get a little poly bag and put them in the poly bag just so that they're all secure. You want to make sure that your customer, when they open up the board game, feels like it's as close to new as possible. So even though they are buying a used collectible board game, when they open it up, when they take it off, you want to see the instructions right on top. You pull up the board game, and then there's all the pieces laid out. And instead of them just thrown in there, even if you put them in the right spots, a lot of times during shipment, they'll fall out of those spots. But if you take an extra 20 seconds to poly bag the pieces together, maybe shrink wrap if there's cash or if there's cards, you can put those together, poly bag them together. It just helps with the customer experience and helps you, reduce your negative feedback, reduce returns, and be able to get more positive feedback from that. So, well, we've gone way over our time allotted for this. If I see any questions that I need to make sure are answered, I'll try to reach out to y'all individually. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. We've had a good time talking about garage sales and thrift stores, and I know that I learned a ton, and I'm hoping I've been able to pass it on to you. But so again, be sure you take advantage of this before the price goes up. The Reseller's Guide to Board Games: How to Turn Play Money into Real Money Legally. And I want to help you be able to find more items, make more money on Amazon, and that'll be good. So I'm going to stop this recording right now. If you registered, you'll get a replay sent to you very soon. If you want to watch it again, if you happen to leave, and that'll be a lot of fun. But before we go, I do want to very quickly do a giveaway really quickly. I want to do one giveaway. I want to give away one copy of one of the online courses in my library. So in the questions and answers, so I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer it in the questions area. And the first person who answers the right question gets to win a copy of the Reseller's Guide to Board Games, so you don't have to worry about purchasing it. So when it comes to garage sales, what are my top 2 items I'm always looking for at garage sales? First person to put it in the questions area. So Crazy Bill, you are super fast on the keyboard. So books and board games, that's right. So Crazy Bill, whoever you are, send me a message and I'll hook you up with the Reseller's Guide to Board Games, and That'll be awesome. So always be sure you're live on our webinars. We usually do giveaways on our webinars, and it's always good to be here live. But if you're just catching the replay, hopefully you've learned some new things. Be sure to check out the Reseller's Guide to Board Games so it can help you in your Amazon FBA journey. So I'll talk to you later. Find out more, fulltimefba.com. Be sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, fulltimefba.com/YouTube. So again, thank you for hanging out with me today. It's been a pleasure serving you, and hopefully you've learned something new. All right, take it easy, guys. God bless. Bye.